I was brought up in a super anti-satanic, anti-demon household, the semi-religious black Muslim convert type. I wasn't allowed to watch Harry Potter as a kid because it was demonic and evil. Thankfully, I developed critical thinking as a teenager. I actually started thinking about what the media I was watching was showing me and what it meant. Like, yes, that is an evil Illuminati triangle on my screen, but no, that doesn't mean this is some evil devil shit that I shouldn't watch because, you have to actually ask yourself, is the story presenting this thing to me as good and glorifying it? Or is it using these well-known symbols and ideas to present something new about the world around and challenge your thinking? I mean, you saw the title. You know I'm getting at. This is a Hellsing video, nigga. This is a Hellsing video. Classic, edgy, evil, blood guts, devil shit anime with vampires, pentagrams, and all that crazy shit. Something I only finally watched for the first time like this week, and I found so much love for it. So I'm gonna quickly slap you over the head with the premise before getting into what I love about the show. In short, the show is set in a London where vampires exist, but the average person has no clue because there's a secret organization called Hellsing who use vampires to kill vampires. Simple enough, right? I haven't lost you yet. Cool. The main character is Alucard, and he's kind of like the ultimate vampire badass whose life depends on aura farming and flexing on niggas, but I'll dig more into the art of that later. It's one of those what the fuck is going on shows until it isn't, and then it is again. It's simple enough to follow along, but random, unrestrained, and nonsensical enough to be constantly entertaining and unpredictable. The show is actually pretty smart too, and tightly written if you want something to dig a little deeper into, but if you're missing a little brain matter like me, these niggas fight like every damn episode, so. Fights are dope as shit, low-key. Yes. If you love hype moments and tension, you love Hellsing. We get introduced to all sorts of vampires pulling all kinds of outlandish stunting goons and scrubs. Original meaning of goon? A lot of times, like, the villains are genuinely despicable, evil people. Most of the fuckers from the show are genuine Nazis, like, literally. And can I go on a rant about this real quick? I'm actually playing Wolfenstein right now. I'm on the second game. And the whole game is about killing Nazis and shit. I go back into Call of Duty Nazi zombies recently. I go to watch evil anime, edgelord, vampire anime. Nazis, right? I go on American news. Nazis. I think I just saved a lot of Nazi media by accident for like this 1 week. And it's like... Anyways, the powers in the show are pretty imaginative. No two characters fight even nearly the same. And hardly any abilities or powers are explained, which makes action quick, fun, and satisfying to watch low-key. The fights are actually more brutal and unapologetic than I could have imagined. Any type of bodily harm you can imagine is probably in the show. In fact, the show definitely put me on some ways that people can die that I'd never considered. Not that I just sit around and consider people, dying, but you get the point. I guess it could be worth mentioning here that the show does cover a lot of heavy themes, and there's a lot of potentially triggering content throughout the show. It isn't glorified or presented as something good, or, it is actually often used to challenge the audience. But if you draw the line at depictions of certain violent acts, I totally understand that the show probably just isn't for you. I mean, subscribe, maybe give me something to watch. Maybe next video will be something wholesome. Maybe I'll do, I don't know what's wholesome. Give me something to watch, please. But with that being said, Hellsing fights are hype as shit. And even when they're not fighting, they're just farming hype and flexing on each other until they finally throw hands. The flexing can kind of get annoying at times, low-key. To be fair, these niggas will post up, be ready to fight, and then Alucard just starts talking some bullshit like,
I was actually just thinking I was a bit hungry. I just told our butler make me some nuggets. But no, you are here now. You will be my meal. Master, give me your order.
It's actually real dialogue from the show and very painful to do. The dub is also pretty good. Kind of a coin flip. Either the voice acting is god awful or phenomenal, but trust me, when it's good, it's gold. If you couldn't tell, I'm actually British. I'm a Londoner myself, so I appreciate when some of these characters that are supposed to be from London actually sound like they're from London.
Any word yet on Millennium?
We solicited the resources of the British Intelligence Service, as well as the National Public Safety Commission, who went so far as to rummage through the unsorted book stacks at the British Museum.
I fuck with the Scots too in this show, actually. Anderson's voice actor just snapped. I fuck with whoever voiced that one girl with the katana, the nun. Even though she has like 3 lines. But yeah, if you could put up with that early 2000s edgy dialogue and the occasional...
I walk around like everything's fine. Then inside my shoe, my sock is sliding off.
Then you actually have a blast with nearly everything else in the show, especially the... I'm sure you could tell by the art alone that this is not one of those shows that leans into anything normal. Not only do the characters look and feel distinct from one another visually, they also act like their own people. My favorite character is Anderson. He's like this super Christian nigga who spits some Christian talk before banging on niggas. He's hard as shit and genuinely a character I can say I haven't seen before. Even other side characters like Bernadotte, the battle-hard mercenary leader who could just be a repetition of some dumbass trope, is actually a character who is distinct, charming, and with a sense of humor that makes him feel unique and real. I'm actually really straying away from a lot of key character and plot details because I really want you to be able to experience this show as fresh as possible. But there is one character I do want to talk about in a little more detail. No spoilers or nothing, but... The main villain in this show is some fat Nazi whose whole sole purpose is war and destruction. A classic bad guy who's bad because he loves evil and death and all that bad stuff. Actually, side note, I think they actually gave him an interesting amount of depth and reasoning without compromising the bad guy who loves being bad villain thing. Though, with this character, I have a sort of stalemate in my mind. You gotta hear me out. I hate him. He's annoying. He talks too much. He's ugly, repulsive, fucking ugly, and a real scumbag who can go on a rant about why he loves war for 2 minutes of my one life on this planet. But I kind of reached the point where I love to hate him. When he was parading about how much he loves war, I genuinely said out loud, bro, can they just kill this nigga? Like, can they just kill this nigga? He's a character who is so unbelievable in concept, yet so believable and tangible in execution. He speaks with conviction. His goals and mindset are completely thought out. It feels like there's no question or argument you can raise that he doesn't have an answer to. His character is believable and hateable because of how genuinely well thought out and actualized he is. Like I said, you can't help but actually dislike the guy, and every time he's on screen, you can't help but hate the fact that he is convinced that his way of being makes sense. And to tie it back into my opening, his way of being, all the evil he speaks, commits, and stands for is never once presented as a good thing. You also can't help but hate his face. I mean, props to everyone that worked on the art. Honestly, the art is sick. I've had it in the background the whole time, so you know this too. We're on the same page. The show looks hard as shit. One thing about the art that I really appreciate is the detail. As I said earlier, I'm a Londoner, not an especially patriotic one at that, but you wouldn't believe the smile that grew across my face as I paused the maps of London and actually saw the area I'm from, or the feeling of, wait, ain't that Trafalgar Square? I mean, Piccadilly Circus, Tower of London, the Houses of Parliament, Big Ben, the London Eye, all places I've been to in real life and been like, yeah, wow, that's Big Ben. Actually got me lit as hell while watching this dumbass vampire show. Also, I ain't some weapons expert or military man. Anything I know about guns and army shit comes from Call of Duty, but I thought the military tech and guns and stuff looked pretty detailed and accurate to my layman's eye. I'm sure some 12-year-old from Texas who owns a DSR-50 will tell me how awfully wrong I am in the comments, but I mean, I fuck with the detail. I think all the characters were treated with the same level of detail too. I mean, I already mentioned they don't look the same, but even on the animation level, they even fight and act differently from one another, and that level of detail is something that is unfortunately rare in anime, which is a proper shame. I think Hellsing is a breath of fresh air if you haven't seen it, whilst also feeling like a hot bath of nostalgia even if it's your first watch. Like all normal people, I am not a fan of death, satanism, demonic shit or violence, but Hellsing is filled to the brim with that shit and I love it. I, like all normal people, love to get lit, love to hate, and love to question my own thoughts. Hellsing is a show that makes you do at least one of these three, if not all three. It preps you with thoughtful symbolism and tactically framed characters to take you on this absurd roller coaster of British and Nazi vampires that somehow, if you allow it to, will make you feel something. I also like to watch Alucard just bang out and kill shit and edge farm. That's all I got for today, nigga. Like, thanks for watching, subscribe, leave a like. More stuff soon. Yeah. Peace.
In case I die.